Hello, everybody. My name is Moss. This is my brother, Cad.
Yo.
And we are on a quest to rewatch every single episode of New Who, from 2005's Rose to Joy to the World Christmas Special. That's the most recent episode.
Yeah.
We're going to watch all of it, and we're going to review it. We watched season 1. We finished season 1 a little while ago. But we're reviewing it now.
Yeah.
The overarching plot, what's the overarching plot?
Bad Wolf.
Yeah.
It's the Doctor's trauma, as it is for the majority of New Who.
Yeah. So the Doctor is an alien Time Lord who's fresh from the Time War, and he meets a human, and they travel to get a human named Rose, and they travel together. It's very fun. It's very silly. It's very
2005 for the first season.
Yeah, 2000. It's very 2005. So we're going to discuss and review the season. Okay, what was your favorite moment / scene?
Favorite moment / scene. I believe it was. What was her name? It was one of the baby-faced aliens. I always forget her name. Slitheen. Yeah. It was the remaining Slitheen, who was trying to guilt trip the Doctor, Jack, Rose, and Mickey into not bringing her back to face justice, as apparently in her home world's justice system, she would definitely be executed for being a major contributor in the destruction and sale of multiple planets. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Imagine that.
Okay, very good.
Yeah. So I loved how she was trying to guilt trip them. I was like, I'll be killed.
It'll
really
be funny.
And it'll be your fault.
It was great. Okay, my favorite scene was in the beginning of Boomtown, same episode you were talking about, when Jack, the Doctor, Rose, and Mickey were in like this restaurant / cafe, and they were just laughing and chatting and being friends. And it was one of my favorite moments of the season.
Yeah.
Okay, favorite episode?
Favorite episode, Empty Child and the Doctor Dances. I think those are my favorite.
Empty Child was so good. It really held up.
Yeah. I've seen it many times. It was scary as a child. Not really as much anymore. But it held up. Like, it was well done, scary episodes. And because of that, even after... it's 25 now. The season was probably released later in the year, but pretty much 20 years later, it still holds up to me.
It was really good. The next question is scariest scene. I'm going to say in the Doctor Dances or the Empty Child, one of them, when Dr. Constantine's face turns into a gas mask and it comes out of his mouth and his eyes. That terrified me as a kid. Like, I remember watching the episode when I was younger and looking away at that part because it was so freaking scary.
Right.
And it held up, I think. It was really awful.
Yeah. Coupled with that is the scene where all the patients sit up when he knocks into the trash can or something like that. He knocks his cane into something. And all of the...
patients just sit up.
Yeah, all the...
Is that
patients.
Your scariest scene?
No, but it's a contender along with the mask coming out. Actually, for me, the scariest scene was them not being sure if all the doors were closed in that house. Okay, so in the season, in the episode, it's World War I, 1941. World War II, sorry. 1941, I was thinking of the one in 1941.
Yeah.
And there's this lady who turns out to be the mother of the empty child. But you don't learn that until later. And she, along with some homeless kids, during air raids, go into houses and eat the food left on the tables. And they are aware of the empty child stalking them. and so they're all very careful to always keep the doors closed and to always avoid it. The thing is that they weren't all that careful, and the way the kind of like the kid came into the house, and the house felt more like a trap rather than a secure area. And because of that, I think it added to the creepy factor of it, it getting in, it being behind the door, and it's like sticking its hand through the mail vent, whatever that thing is, mail slot. It's like, let me in. Please let me in, Mommy. I'm scared of the dark.
I'm scared of the bombs.
Oh, the bums, Mummy. Yes. And that was a really scary scene for me.
Yeah, that was good. Okay.
Because it felt like they were more trapped in the house rather than safe in the house, and I like that.
Okay, what was your favorite character this season?
Favorite character, Jack, of course.
Jack,
of course.
I love Jack. Jack is awesome.
Jackie as well, but that's more. I love Jackie as a character and as a fictional person. Jackie's great. Jack's my favorite.
Yeah.
Jack's always my favorite.
I really liked Cassandra.
Oh, Cassandra's wonderful.
I really liked Cassandra.
She's so homicidal.
Yes. Moisturize me. That's the one.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's the trampoline.
Yes.
Made out of human skin.
Okay, what was your least favorite character?
Least favorite character?
Henry von Staten.
Henry von Staten was my least favorite character. He was just so... Von Staten. Like, he was like a wannabe Tony Stark, but just coming across as complete jerk.
Yeah. I didn't like Henry von Staten either.
Yeah.
Okay. Which character had it...
Like he was trying to be Tony Stark.
Yeah. Which character had it the roughest?
Jackie.
100% Jackie.
Jackie goes through so much.
I would die. I would cease to exist.
I would age decades each time Rose goes off for a minute and then just is gone for months on end. And the first time, like, that's horrible because it's an entire year and your 19-year-old daughter won't tell you where she was.
So what happened
for some reason.
So what happened was the Doctor and Rose meet, and Rose goes with him in his time machine, and they go on adventures, and then they come back to stop by and like say hi to her mom and stuff. But the Doctor, because he's a terrible driver, they were a year late.
Yep.
So it's no longer 2005, it's 2006, and Jackie's daughter was missing for a whole year. People thought she was dead.
Yeah, Mickey was actually a suspect.
Mickey was a suspect in her murder. It would have been devastating to me.
Oh, yeah.
And then when Rose just shows up like nothing happened.
And not only that, she doesn't tell her anything about where she is.
She refuses to say where she's been. And if that was my child, I would be so concerned.
I'd be incredibly concerned. Like, I'd probably call the police as well.
Yeah.
I think she did.
She did.
She did. I would call the police. I would definitely try to get her away from the Doctor. Like, you're not explaining anything to me. You've been gone an entire year, and then when you come back, at first you act like nothing's wrong, and then you don't answer any of my questions. Okay, so that's the first time, and Jackie isn't aware of the time travel at that point.
So
the second time isn't as long. The second time is Bad Wolf. Like, the Doctor sends her back in time. She, becomes Bad Wolf by looking into the heart of the TARDIS. All that. Jackie's aware that it's a time travel machine now. And so when Rose leaves and then doesn't immediately, when the TARDIS leaves and doesn't immediately come back.
Because it's a time machine.
Because it's a time machine, you should be able to do that. That I would take that as proof that she's dead.
I would think she was dead too, especially, and she didn't show up again until Christmas. Jackie had it the roughest. Who deserved better? Also Jackie.
Also Jackie.
Who deserved worse?
Von Staten. I think he does. He's just kind of like I think he's unlawfully arrested and like his mind's wiped. He deserved worse. Like,
yeah.
He needed to be in some way made to suffer for like the rest of his life.
Yeah.
I know that's dark. I think we should move on.
Okay, which villain was the worst/best?
Worst/best.
There were a lot of goopy villains.
A lot of goopy. Cassandra. I'll go with Cassandra.
Cassandra was brilliant.
Great.
Yeah.
I love Cassandra.
I love Cassandra too. I liked the Mighty Jagrafess, even though it like didn't say a word and it was just a blob on the ceiling with big teeth.
Well, why don't you go with the plastic villain from the first episode then?
Because it was boring. The Jagrafess was boring. I liked the Jagrafess, especially the name Jagrafess.
Right.
So, but probably
Jagrafess
Cassandra.
is a good name. Yeah, okay.
Probably Cassandra. Okay. What was your opinion on this doctor?
He had a lot to go through, and it just what's interesting about it is that for the majority of New Who so far, the 15th Doctor, the latest guy, I still haven't memorized his name yet. Ncuti Gatwa. He's got a zeal for life that it feels like the previous Doctors somewhat force, which is really good characterization, to be clear. It's not bad acting. It's part of the character. That their zeal for life feels somewhat forced in order to not deal with their problems.
Yeah.
And
Doctor's traumatized.
The Doctor's horrifically traumatized, and I think there's a lot of reasons for that. And it just keeps piling on him, and he's basically in a rut over thousands of years where he's got companions. He basically does the same thing to himself over and over and over again, where he gets attached. He brings them along adventures, and he has a really good time for a while, and then something happens, and then they get separated, and he probably has a low that lasts from years to centuries because companions don't last that long compared to how long he's lived.
Yeah.
They've lived. They now. But I really like how Ncuti Gatwa. I'm rambling. I'm getting away from the point. What the point is that the 9th Doctor is the first Doctor a lot of people meet, and he kind of sets the tone for the Doctor's underlining characteristics and complex history. How he handles his history. Going forward for the 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, and 15th now, 14th as well, and then 15th. But he's the one that sets the whole, that kind of feeling of wonder underlined by massive amounts of trauma.
Okay, so
Also, he's super cheeky, and I love it.
my opinion of this doctor is this meme. And
Yes.
I will put it up on screen. Don't read it out loud because there's a swear.
Right. But
I'll
his
put it up on
swag
screen.
is too lesbian. I love it.
He's fabulous.
And his buzz cut is too perfect.
Yeah.
Love him.
And
He's great. He's got a great face.
He's got a magnificent face, and I love his forehead. I love the expressiveness of it. I love the lines on his forehead that he can really
Yeah.
express with it. I really liked this.
Oh, he's got
doctor.
boots on. He doesn't have tennis shoes. He's got boots.
Yeah. Doc
Something
Martens.
that kind of like puts my opinion of the Doctor is that he's a contender. As like when I'm thinking, okay, who's my favorite Doctor at the moment? He's always someone I'm considering, even though compared to all the other Doctors after him, he's only got one season. he's always one I consider, like I never like just like dismiss him as a candidate, and I think that says a lot about Eccleston as an actor and the writing for this Doctor, that even though there's only one season, he's still a contender.
Yes, absolutely. So, a defining moment for this Doctor. I would like to go first.
Go for it.
A defining moment for this Doctor, I think, like you can point to like the episode Dalek. You can point to lots of things like Bad Wolf and Parting of Ways, but I think a defining moment for this Doctor was in Father's Day, when he took Rose back to meet her dead dad, and Rose wanted to, he was hit by a car and died, and she wanted to be there for him and hold his hand as he died, and so he wouldn't be alone. And so the Doctor actually takes her to do that. And so they're standing on the sidewalk, ready to jump out and, hold his hand and stuff. But she can't do it. She's frozen.
Yeah,
So
because you just saw her father get hit by a car.
It was
someone she's never actually met because he died.
Yeah, he takes Rose back, and they're sitting together, and she asks if they can go try again, and he actually lets her. I thought that whole sequence of events where he's sitting with her, I thought it was really sweet. I thought it was very kind. I thought it was very Doctor.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what about you? What was a defining moment for the Doctor?
Defining moment.
I'd say that scene where he said, "Disconnect yourself from the server."
Yes. Okay. So in the episode where the Daleks are reintroduced, and you meet Henry von Staten, the Doctor tells that Dalek to kill itself.
Very harshly.
Very, very harshly. Like he was 100%, 200%, full TARDIS percent serious. It was like, kill yourself. It was very intense. Like he was ranting at it, and he kind of like culminated with the statement, "Kill yourself."
And what should I do?
All right then. If you want orders, follow this one. Kill yourself.
And that's, you can look it up on YouTube. That's wild to see the Doctor say, and it's so funny because that wouldn't be allowed in a TV show today.
Oh, probably not. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
At least not for something that. All right. What had my answer been? Like that was one of them, but what had the question been rather?
Defining moment for this Doctor.
Defining moment for this Doctor. I haven't seen a lot of the old Who. But let me think about this. Let's come back to it.
Okay. Worst thing a character did.
Worst thing worst thing a character did. Henry von Staten probably did a lot of horrible things. I'm trying to think here, though. Go ahead.
That guy in Bad Wolf,
Yes,
in the game.
Okay, so there's this guy. So Bad Wolf. I think Bad Wolf was part 2, maybe.
No, Bad Wolf was part 1.
Bad Wolf was part 1.
Part 2.
Okay, so the TARDIS gets hijacked and pulled into Satellite 5 a century after you first visit in a different episode.
In the long game.
In the long game, where Moss's favorite villain is in the
Jaggerfest.
The Jaggerfest. Anyway, and they get separated. Jack is having a great time. The Doctor is in basically like a
Big Brother.
In a Big Brother house,
Reality
TV show house. And Rose finds herself on
link.
the weakest link, which is basically like Jeopardy. And and the only reason she survives is because there's this guy who, in order to win, kind of votes for the weakest link to keep them in the game so that when the question gets really hard, he'll have a better shot at winning.
Yeah.
And
he was a jerk to Rose.
he was a super jerk to Rose. I love the actor's performance because he really makes you hate the character. Like, just the way
was good acting.
Yeah, it's good acting. It's really good acting. Anyway, yeah, that guy's the worst guy.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, I mean, technically, the Slovene, where the people's they have where the skin of people they've killed, which is wow. But that guy is definitely the worst.
Yeah. Okay.
Just on a personal level.
Okay. Final question. Crowning moment of the season.
Crowning moment of the season. Are you sure we haven't done? Oh no, it's similar to defining moment for the Doctor, but it's different.
Yeah. Crowning moment.
Crowning moment of the season. Okay, my answer is different from the peak of the season.
Okay.
Actually, I was gonna go with in the first episode with Rose, how they meet is a crowning moment.
Yes.
However, it is not a peak moment, so I'm not gonna count that. But it's been mentioned now.
No, you're right. That scene where he grabs her hand and says "run," and then they run.
That is a really good introduction to the show.
That was classic.
Very classic.
Classic.
It is classic. Crowning moment. You go while I'm thinking about this.
Let me look at the episode list so that I remember what happened. We'll get back to crowning moment of the season. Okay, we'll describe each episode with one word. Rose.
One word.
You can use a couple words.
No, let's stick with one word. It's harder and it's faster.
Yeah. Okay. Rose.
Okay. Rose. Solid intro for 2005.
Yeah, solid intro. The end of the world. Fun. Classic. Iconic.
These are many more than just one word. So let's go.
They have
Rose. Rose is the word. Rose.
Yeah. Okay. For the end of the world, that was classic,
Yep.
iconic.
Plasticky.
No, the end of the world. That's the one. With
The end of the world.
We moved
Oh.
up. Moved to the next episode. That scene where they play
Tainted
Tainted
Love.
Love, and that scene where they play Toxic by Britney Spears.
Yeah, those two are crowning moments.
Yeah.
I'd say.
Yeah. Toxic.
I
by Britney
really
Spears.
liked how they had like pop songs in it because normally they stick with original soundtracks, which are generally really good. And it's not an issue which way you go. Either you're bringing in songs that have been made by other people, or you're going with an original soundtrack. Both work really well when they're done well, and Doctor Who generally does it really well. So, I don't have complaints that they stick with original soundtracks, but the way they placed "Toxic" and "Tainted Love" into the episode, the scenes really work well.
It was brilliant.
I listened to "Tainted Love" on repeat because of watching that episode.
I listened to Toxic. I listened to Toxic. That was my introduction to Toxic.
Oh, really?
By Britney Spears. And I love that song. It is iconic. And the fact that they blew the budget on those two songs probably. Okay.
I think that would explain a lot.
I think it's explain a lot too. Third episode, The Unquiet Dead.
Unquiet Dead. Charles Dixon's. That's the guy's name.
Yeah.
It's been done before.
Yeah, I was gonna say kind of boring.
Like it's fun, I guess, but they've done multiple ones in the past. I'm thinking of the werewolf one in season 3, where it's the werewolf one, and then on season 4 they got one with the bee. So it's been done before.
Okay. We didn't discuss funniest moment, I don't think.
Oh, funniest moment.
Okay, I want to go funniest moment. Funniest moment was in Aliens of London, right after Jackie slapped the doctor, and the doctor and Rose went up on the roof, and he was complaining about being slapped because it hurt. And Rose said,
he said, 900 years and I've never been slapped by someone's mother.
And Rose goes, "You're so gay."
Casual homophobia. Classic.
Casual homophobia. That was the funniest moment of the season for me.
I would agree.
I rewatched it over and over and over because that's hilarious. You're so gay.
Serious contender is Jack on Satellite 5 with the two robot fashionistas.
Yes, that was a funny scene too.
I love that.
Okay, aliens.
But it was more like a montage, really,
that
was cut into and out of.
Back to describing the episodes one word at a time. Aliens of London. I'm going to describe it as gay.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Okay, World War III. Harriet Jones.
Oh, right. This was the
that was the episode
Gross.
that they nuked Downing Street,
Wow,
and they never brought it up
They
again.
nuked Downing Street, and yet somehow people can still live there.
Yeah,
And it didn't start a war, somehow.
yeah, so that was, and it was never brought up again.
Also, how is it just Downing Street? Like, how do you just nuke Downing Street? Like, that's at least London. Depending on the yield. Like, depending on how large of the nuke's yield is. But, that's more than just Downing Street. Yeah, they actually nuked Downing Street. That's what they did in the... What's it called? To get the scene to be properly accurate, Hollywood standards, of course, they actually did nuke Downing Street.
Yeah. Okay,
I'm
Dalek.
Dalek. Henry von Staten, he's someone I love to hate genuinely. Like, I genuinely hate him. Like, I wanted him to suffer more in the episode. And he isn't someone I hate to hate. And so I love to hate him because I don't hate to hate him. I hate Henry von Staten so much.
I'm going to describe it as disconnect yourself from the server. The
Yes.
disconnect yourself from the server episode. Okay.
Yes.
The
That's
long
a
game.
reference to Undead Humor on YouTube. Love that
Yeah.
guy. Love those.
Shout out. Okay, the long game. Cad skipped the long game because
Yes.
he couldn't handle Adam.
I couldn't handle Adam. He's just so nerdy.
He was cringe.
He's cringe. He's nerdy. He's actually the same actor. I think I may be misremembering this wrong. Actually, no. I'm gonna leave that alone because I think the same actor showed up in Warehouse 13, but I don't think so.
Okay.
Like, I think so, but I don't think so. Like, I think it's someone else that looks similar.
Okay.
I'm trying to imagine. No, it's a different person. Okay. Anyway, I don't like how the Doctor handled Adam. Because Adam in the long game gets his brain replaced, if I remember correctly, with like a chip or something.
No, he gets a little doorway in his head.
Oh, he gets a little doorway in his head, so he doesn't replace his brain.
Yeah,
He doesn't?
He doesn't replace
Oh, okay.
his brain.
Okay.
He
And
just has
it
brain
just
surgery.
he has brain surgery, which, one, that's incredibly hasty and reckless. And two, at least to my memory, and you can correct me if I'm wrong because you've seen the episode more recently, the Doctor kind of flips out at him for that and just...
In his own way, yes.
In his own way, and just kind of like abandons him on Earth.
Yeah, he
After
drops him
wiping
off
his memory, I believe.
No, he doesn't wipe his memory. He drops him off at his mom's house and is just like, snap, bye, I hate you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I just didn't like how the Doctor handled that.
So I'm going to describe that episode in one word. I'm going to describe it as newsworthy.
Newsworthy?
Yeah, because they were all journalists.
Oh, right, yeah.
On platform, on satellite. No, not satellite. Yeah, Satellite 5. Okay, next
Platform
episode,
1's
Father's Day.
Heartbreaking.
I thought it was sweet. I really liked that episode.
The reason why I call it heartbreaking is because for 20 years afterwards, Jackie thinks Pete committed.
You got to be careful about saying those things because if we posted this on YouTube, I'm
That's-
gonna have to.
that's
I'm gonna have
true.
to bleep
Okay.
out. I'm gonna have to bleep out all the. That's why
We're not saying that.
the doctor said that. Yes.
The doctor
anyway.
said that. It's
Anyway.
on TV. But that's just incredibly rough for Jackie because and you see like there's clips of Jackie kind of explaining Pete to a child Rose, and it's so rough because originally it's
He was randomly hit by a car.
he's randomly hit by a young driver who stayed for the police, all that. They go back in time, and the specifics of his death get rewritten because of certain things that happen in the episode, where in order to save time and space, he gets in front of the time looping vehicle. And so for the next 20 years, that's how Jackie sees his death. And that's...
Jackie had it the roughest.
Oh, Jackie had it the roughest by far.
Yeah, okay.
Wow.
Next episode, The Empty Child. Scary. It was
Scary.
scary.
Yeah.
The Doctor Dances.
Scary and holds up.
Yeah, holds up. The Doctor Dances.
Jack. God.
Yeah.
Jack. I love him.
Boomtown.
Boomtown. What was that?
That was the one with the Slovene lady who tried to guilt them. That
Love
one
it.
was fun.
Guilt tripping. Classic.
Okay,
Love
Bad
it.
Wolf.
Everybody's obsessed with Rose for some reason. I was, and I'm sure you were as well. Like, everybody was obsessed with Rose as a companion. Like, I wasn't old enough to care about her in any other way. But the show itself was obsessed with Rose, or at least the fandom was a while.
Yeah.
So
I like Rose.
I like Rose, yeah.
I love how
the
she's
hype
working
was
class.
crazy.
I love
Yes,
her. I love
yes.
her bleach blonde hair with the roots speaking out. I love her goopy mascara. I love her clothes. I love that she slouches.
She slouches a lot. That's really
It's-
bad posture.
She has really bad posture.
It's so relatable.
It's so relatable because you see in movies people just with the perfect posture, and it's like that's not how normal people. That's not how at least I stand. I'm gonna slouch, and Rose would just slouch, and I appreciated that.
Yeah.
I appreciated that.
Yeah, Rose is a really good character.
Yeah, and I liked how she always connected with the working class people, while the doctor was like bumping elbows with the rich and famous. She was talking with the people who actually make the world run.
Yeah, like on platform 1, she's talking with the maintenance lady.
Mm-hmm. In The Unquiet Dead, she's talking with Gwyneth.
Mm-hmm. She's talking with Gwyneth.
Okay, The Parting of Ways.
Jackie has it so rough. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Jackie.
Parting of Ways episode. I'm gonna describe it as
Abandonment, because 1, Jackie's basically abandoned for half a year. I feel like that's an exaggeration. I don't know how long it was. And Jack is abandoned for who knows how long. Like, he just leaves Jack there. And I think it comes out later that the doctor was aware that he was alive again.
yeah. But he just couldn't handle it.
He couldn't handle it. Which, I mean, a lot happened.
Yeah, he'd had
But
a rough
also-
day. He had a rough day.
Had a rough
The
day.
Daleks were back, and there was like a whole Dalek god and everything, and there was a lot going on.
A lot.
And
Yeah, but him abandoning Jack wasn't cool.
yeah. So, that's all of season 1. What was the crowning moment of the season for you?
Crowning moment for the season for me. Cause, or was it crowning? Yeah, crowning moment for the season.
I know. When in The Parting of Ways, when Jack kissed Rose and then he turned and kissed the doctor.
Oh, yes.
That was 2005.
2005, and gay kissing. I love it.
Yes. Jack was...
Jack is an icon. And
Jack-
he is the moment.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, so I think we've covered all of season 1.
Great. But I'm going to try and do one word answers for... One word answers for the episodes. Okay, Rose... Plastic. The End of the World. What's that one again?
That's the one with Cassandra. I'd say iconic.
Iconic. Sass. Toxic. Toxic as well. In so many ways. In so many wonderful ways. The Unquiet Dead. Unionize.
Yes,
Unionize.
Unionize. That's a good one.
Aliens of London. What's with the fat shaming? What's with the
fat phobia was uncomfortable in this season.
Like, I think the eyebrowless prime minister, he had some swag. Like,
he was handsome. The actor who played the Slovene prime minister,
yeah,
handsome man. He had a
like
nice
I wasn't
face.
biting my lip or anything, but yeah, he had some charm to him.
Yeah.
World War III, same. The Dalek. Von Staten, just wow. Oh yes, Dalek. The one word is wow. The Long Game, skipped it. Father's Day, tear to the eye, sweet, heartbreaking, bittersweet.
Bittersweet.
Empty Child, classic. The Doctor Dances, classic. The Empty Child, scary. The Doctor Dances, flirty, very flirty. Boomtown, that one. I keep forgetting what Boomtown
That was the one with the Slovene lady.
Oh, right.
Guilt. Shame.
Shame. Bad Wolf.
Foreshadowing.
Bad Wolf was foreshadowing. Yes. Foreshadowed.
Yeah.
Parting of Ways. This is more than one word. Jackie deserved better.
Amen. And
I'll pray to that. All right.
and that's season 1, baby. Season 1. Thanks for watching.